24-hour cameras, wildlife sitcom and drama, emotional cliffhangers. Reality TV at its best. The difference? The actors, African wildlife. The set, the African bush. The scriptwriter and producer, Mother Nature.
Last time on Wildlife Diary, Duchess and Biggles assaulted Ulf. Researchers discovered more of Ralani's offspring. Life on the outside presented Tia and the girls with a few surprises. Lisa comes into Estrus, and Felix exerts his dominance over potential competition. Researchers report that the Korongwe elephants are experiencing no problems. Everyone's doing fine, including the youngsters. Even Fumbe has settled down nicely after being brought in for treatment on a painful abscess. Felix and Zero, after spending a night with Lisa, take time out to eat and replenish their energy. Though Koba and Shungu are very close, cheetah rarely groom each other. In need of a good scratch, Koba nuzzles a monkey tail plant, while Shungu scans the landscape for lunch. Koba responds to the unspoken call to arms. He flanks the impala, once again highlighting the advantages of the male coalition. This time, Maggie introduces her cubs to the pride. Duchess mediates between injured egos. Melissa deals with the tribulations of motherhood. And Ralani struggles to eat a meal in peace. Last time, Felix resorted to drastic measures in controlling uppity young juveniles, Limu and Luma. Lisa had to intervene to protect her sub-adult cubs, fully aware that her coming into Estrus might cause Felix and Zero to behave violently. Meanwhile, in the Chippenberry, Maggie has single-handedly brought down a wildebeest. It takes a fair amount of time to suffocate the animal. She daren't let go because this wildebeest is by no means out of the running yet. Maggie releases her grip, fairly confident that she has finally immobilized the animal, even though it remains alive. After the mammoth struggle, Maggie needs to rest. Later, Maggie returns to the kill to show off her pride and joy, her two new cubs. Tonight, the cubs will meet and share a meal with the rest of the Korongwe pride for the first time. This makes Maggie extremely nervous. The cubs don't realize yet that the head is a tough nut to crack. What they need is a mother to do the honors for them. And she does. The visitors arrive. Lisa's boisterous juveniles tuck into the carcass with gusto. They'll eat first and meet the cubs later. The youngsters cannot contain their curiosity about the sub-adults Limo and Luma. So far, so good. Hostess Maggie has laid on a delicious haunch of venison, and everyone's enjoying it. Felix and Zero are noticeably absent from the feast, and that's just the way Maggie wants to keep it. The cubs feed greedily on the exposed flesh, showing the power in these little jaws. The sub-adults, Limu and Luma, tuck in with gusto, and the cubs find these two dinner guests fascinating. But to Maggie, these guys could be a threat to the nippers. Small appetites are soon satisfied. The cubs frolic around on a mound of wildebeest stomach offal, just the sort of powerful scent that may draw competing predators into the kill. But it would have to be a brave or foolhardy soul that tried to pirate this carcass. The sub-adults stop eating long enough to acquaint themselves with the newest Pride members. Maggie gets edgy. Limu and Luma are getting too familiar with her little ones. She hisses a muted warning at the sub-adults. The cubs detect that something might be amiss and obediently stay close to their mother. Maggie places herself between her young and the two adolescents. Under normal circumstances, these warning hisses may well degenerate into a vocal bout of discipline, but Maggie has good reason not to draw attention to this little party. The last thing she wants is for Felix and Zero to put in an appearance. Fully fledged adult male lions are intolerant of young cubs at a carcass. A mild slap with a paw could spell death for the little ones. It's a chance that Maggie is not prepared to take just yet. Maggie will be unable to keep them away from the adult males forever. And when they do inevitably meet, the survival prospects of the cubs will enter a critical phase. Will these new arrivals on the Korongwe make a premature departure? Coming up, can Alf and Biggles repair the rift? And Melissa's brood romps away the afternoon. Last time, the Mandulia section saw Duchess and Biggles launch a merciless attack on Alf, whose only crime was a bit of misplaced ambition. As the day after the fight dawns, a confused Biggles tries to make sense of the split. Duchess emerges from the den hungry. She needs food, and she needs it now if there's to be enough milk for the pups later. She pleads with Biggles for food, but he has none to give. With a sore ear and a bruised ego, Biggles knows they must hunt. But his hunting partner, Alf, is now an enemy. How did that happen? The pressure mounts on Biggles to do something. The nagging alpha female is incessantly demanding food from him. The pack must eat. Biggles and Alf must hunt. But understandably, Alf has withdrawn his labor after the fight. While he sulks and Biggles hangs about aimlessly, a Duchess assesses the impact of the battle on her pups. Perhaps she shouldn't have lured Alf into the confrontation with Biggles. The fight could compromise the survival of her litter and the pack. Duchess approaches Alf in a spirit of reconciliation. Quite rightly, Alf reacts nervously to her invitation. He has no intention of being played for a fool twice in a row. He follows hesitantly, suspecting her every move. Biggles watches the show. What's this woman up to now? Duchess continues luring Alf towards Biggles. Alf plays along, but very warily. After all, she participated in the attack, didn't she? Still, Biggles makes no move towards them. At last, he overcomes his moodiness and heads out to reconcile with his old buddy. The overjoyed Duchess rushes between the two males, encouraging them to bury the hatchet. Just not in each other this time. The pups inside the den desperately need these two males to cooperate. The boys kiss and make up. Ruffled egos are smoothed over in the interests of the greater good. Now they can hunt together again. They may have patched things up this time, but is it permanent? Is this battle for leadership really over? Or is it long-term? If so, will the pack survive? In the Adini section, we catch up with Melissa and her brood. Melissa has never succeeded as a mother before, but this litter has been doing very well. She decides to call her cubs onto her latest kill rather than fetch them. By leaving the carcass, she would risk losing it to another predator. One of the little ones responds to her calls. But not quickly enough. Melissa gives up the carcass temporarily to fetch the youngsters. They emerge from their concealed location, and she entices them back across the road. Stopping in the open poses a grave risk. A chirrup from Mother gives the cub a reality check. The hungry cubs use sharp little teeth to tear bite-sized chunks from a wound that Melissa has opened up. Even though they're taking solid food now, they'll carry on suckling until 3 months old. After lunch, Melissa takes the family away from the carcass. Eating out exposes the cubs to great risks. Fortunately, today's outing's gone smoothly. Some of the youngsters attempt to work off the heavy meal with exercise. Play is vital to learning the art of survival in the wilderness. Scanning the surroundings from a high point is a necessary skill in a cheetah's hunting repertoire. The afternoon heat, coupled with full stomachs, takes its toll on a few of the cubs. Melissa hears lions in the distance. They're so far away that it doesn't bear worrying about. She relaxes and allows the cubs to play on. Curiosity killed the cat. Fortunately, a twig poses far less of a threat than a snake, and the snake lesson has yet to be learned. Stalking, pouncing, prey pinning, all skills acquired during playtime will be used to lethal effect within months. Once the cubs have finished weaning, Melissa will start bringing home smaller live prey for the youngsters to practice on. Until then, they must hone their techniques on inanimate objects. After about 7 months, they'll begin accompanying their mother on the hunt, where they'll gain actual field experience in the 3 S's: stalking, sprinting, and suffocating. The cubs will bring down their first kill at about 9 months, but that's a long way off. Melissa's non-existent track record in raising a litter successfully places a huge question mark over the survival of her brood. And even though she sleeps, she does so uneasily. Can Melissa shake off the past and nurture at least one or more of her cubs to maturity? Coming up, Rolani no longer has everything his own way. The Manati section recently yielded a brand new set of leopard cubs, born to the reclusive Shongile and sired by the resident stud Rolani. Nowadays, Rolani splits his time between patrolling his territory and feeding himself choice morsels from the bushveld menu. He's just spent 25 minutes subduing a young giraffe. Without a care in the world, the leopard commences his usual laid-back approach to haute cuisine. A casual chew here, a lick there. This is one meal Rolani intends to savor. But it's going to take a lot of licking and plucking to get through this tough giraffe hide. There's mischief afoot. Lolly the hyena detects potential on Rolani's turf. The leopard senses something's amiss. There's new competition in town. Just who does this cheeky hyena think she is? Rolani tries to cover some of the stomach contents, but concealing an entire giraffe is a tall order. It'll take days to finish this meal, and Ralani must guard his kill for the full duration. As the morning creeps in over the Manati, Ralani's slumber prevents him sensing another threat. The mother of the juvenile giraffe he has killed is searching for her calf. Many a big cat has died from a single kick from an enraged giraffe. Her acute eyesight and extended height provide her with an advantage when searching for something or spotting danger. Giraffe mothers frequently operate at distances of up to 3 kilometers from their calves, rendering the young ones extremely vulnerable to attacks by marauding predators such as Ralani. Fortunately for the leopard, the mother fails to discover her dead calf. But he's not out of the woods yet. The hyena's nighttime prowl is extended into the day. Ralani optimistically tugs at the carcass, but he'll need supernatural strength to hoist this one up a tree and away from prying teeth. So he does the next best thing and hoists himself up the tree. Lolly assesses the situation. One juicy carcass down below, one irritated leopard on top, who will doubtless pounce if she goes anywhere near it. The lady is ravenous. What to do next? What to do? This stalemate serves neither party. Lolly continues pondering her options, closely observed by Ralani. Good sense triumphs over an empty belly. Lolly folds her hand, leaving the winnings to Ralani, who watches her departure with some relief. How's anyone supposed to enjoy a steak these days with that class of patron hanging around? The day's nerve-wracking events have completely destroyed the leopard's appetite. Night falls, and Ralani remains on top of things. Lolly tries to enter the game once more, but he no longer buys into her bluff. The lady slinks off, eventually accepting the futility of it all. At last, Ralani can relax and enjoy his hard-won, hard-defended prize. No, Lolly's back. Ralani's urbane, suave demeanor slips for a moment as he tosses a fierce look in her direction. The persistent hyena is still computing her chances of getting a piece of the giraffe. But it's not to be. Ralani glares into the darkness, perhaps wondering if he's seen the last of her. One thing is certain, his comfort zone is no longer comfortable. The question is, what will happen when Lolly's pack companions Tia and Giggles inevitably get involved? Next time, researchers tragically discover a dead cheetah cub. The wild dog pack gets back on form. The hyena girl power team splits up. And the pride continues feasting on Maggie's kill. Though Cobra and Shungu are very close, cheetah rarely groom each other. In need of a good scratch, Cobra nuzzles a monkey tail plant, while Shungu scans the landscape for lunch. Cobra responds to the unspoken call to arms. He flanks the impala, once again highlighting the advantages of the male coalition. This time, Maggie introduces her cubs to the pride. Duchess mediates between injured egos.
24-hour cameras, wildlife sitcom and drama, emotional cliffhangers. Reality TV at its best. The difference? The actors, African wildlife. The set, the African bush. The scriptwriter and producer, Mother Nature.
Last time on Wildlife Diary, Duchess and Biggles assaulted Ulf. Researchers discovered more of Ralani's offspring. Life on the Outside presented Tia and the girls with a few surprises. Lisa comes into Estrus, and Felix exerts his dominance over potential competition. Meanwhile, in the Chippenberry, Maggie has single-handedly brought down a wildebeest. It takes a fair amount of time to suffocate the animal. She daren't let go because this wildebeest is by no means out of the running yet. Maggie releases her grip, fairly confident that she has finally immobilized. Melissa deals with the tribulations of motherhood. And Ralani struggles to eat a meal in peace. Last time, Felix resorted to drastic measures in controlling uppity young juveniles, Limu and Luma. Lisa had to intervene to protect her sub-adult cubs, fully aware that her coming into Estrus might cause Felix and Zero to behave violently. Researchers report that the Korongwe elephants are experiencing no problems. Everyone's doing fine, including the youngsters. Even Fumbe has settled down nicely after being brought in for treatment on a painful abscess. Felix and Zero, after spending a night with Lisa, take time out to eat and replenish their energy.